Actually, maybe I'll wait till after baseball.
Welcome back, America. That was the brief one. There we go. Segment 2, if you will. IDD, for those of you in the know, I don't disagree. The redoubtable one, Tom, is the highly questioned one. Segment 2, all things splat. A conundrum, a very interesting one, has come up with the Mets that he just informed me of when we were off air about the benefit of the Mets just sinking like the Titanic.
In terms of draft pick.
Something to the effect of, if they finish in the bottom 6, they're guaranteed the top 6 pick because of some of the moves they made. If they finish 7th, they're going to pick 19.
Well, if they finish 7th or worse, they'll pick 10 spots behind where they should pick. Because of how there's multiple thresholds over the salary cap tax. They are multiple levels beyond where they should be in terms of cap.
Highest paid team ever.
And because of that, they get penalized in the draft.
Yep.
Because typically you spend that kind of money, you're probably winning.
You're in the playoffs at least.
Unfortunately for the Mets, they're not. So right now I think they're 9th worst in the whole majors.
We're looking at 2 historical nosedives.
Yes.
The Bruins and the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
Mets because of the payroll, the Bruins because they're the greatest regular season ever. So, but right now it's the Mets. And he thinks, and I agree with him on this, here's the problem though. We brought this up off air, and I wanted to discuss this. How do you tell because it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to convince 26 guys for the next 2 months
to stay engaged.
To stay engaged when you know they want you to lose. And as a professional athlete, is it so simple as, well, look, I'm making $50 million or $20 million, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know that it's that simple. No. I don't think it is. Because those guys got there not because of just their talent, but because they were the most competitive motherfuckers in the room.
Money will only push you so far.
Will only push you so far. And you're going to be the butt end of a lot of jokes.
Yeah, that's my concern because I thought they made the right decision at the trade deadline, in my opinion. They were not going to make the playoffs. I really believe that, and I think they got what they could. I actually think they could have sold off more shit. But what they did, they sold off their most expensive and troubled issues.
Yeah. They got younger.
They got younger in the farm system. They basically paid to do a rebuild instead of waited to do a rebuild. Yeah. That's what ended up happening.
They hit the warp speed button.
Exactly. Say, okay, we could actually pay $150 million and get a few prospects?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. They bought it.
Right. Instead of waiting 4 drafts worth of people, we'll just buy it.
Which, by the way, if you have that money,
do it. Right. Because why wait?
Because why wait at this point? So, I mean,
I like that.
The conundrum is, now you got to sell 26 professional athletes on.
Right.
This is the right way to go. And you have to play. How do you?
And even if you sell it to them, what is the long-term impact of playing for 2 months in the big leagues for nothing?
With the intent of losing.
For nothing. And it
flies in the face of everything that an athlete is taught.
Will they get used to losing? Will things become okay that are not okay? Lack of fundamentals.
It's a great question.
Lack of discipline at the plate. Are guys going to go up there and just try to get stats at the plate? Because if they do, they're going to fuck their batting averages up.
It's very easy for non-athletes to say, well, look, you're getting paid all this money. But do you understand something? The reason you're getting paid all that money is because that's not how they think. They think the polar opposite of it. That's part of why they got where they got. So now you want them to shut their brain off and go against everything they know and have been trained.
Yeah.
And you're going to sell them, well, you're getting paid to do it. It's easy to say, well, they're professionals. That's not easy. I don't give a fuck because that's not how you think. You're not wired that way. So how do you do that?
Most people aren't.
No.
Like if you were going to work every day, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing your job.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they tell you, hey, they totally change the whole vision of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, you know that part of your job you love? You're not going to do it anymore.
No.
We're going to keep paying you, but you're going to start doing this now.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, what the fuck,
Something
man?
that you don't even comprehend.
And we're talking about if you liked your job.
Yeah.
Like if you liked your job and you were doing something you loved and there was a purpose you were doing it for. Yeah. And you said, well, you know what? We're not making a difference anymore. There's no purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I would do? This is exactly how I would approach this. It would become completely developmental. So I would get with these players on an individual basis and say, hey, here are the 2 things in your game that you need to become better at. And every game you're going to focus on that. Mm-hmm. So like Pete Alonso, you have too many fucking strikeouts. You're not hitting the ball to right field. I don't want
Fuck
you to,
your fucking
exactly.
stats.
I don't want you to hit a home run this week.
Yeah.
I want you to hit 300 this week.
Yeah.
And these are the things you're going to do to try. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I was a player and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to use this time to get fucking better. That would be a motivator. And that would eventually end up, you would also get paid.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because
from a coaching, to your point, because I think you're right, 100% right. From a coaching perspective, what you say as a coach is you say, look, you're going to treat these next 8 weeks like even though, look, they count in the standings, obviously, but we're going to look at them as an extended, like a preseason. This is what you're going to practice these things over the next 8 weeks, and we're going to see where they are at the end of the season. We're looking for improvement in these areas. That does not necessarily translate to wins, but I wanted to point with Alonso, if he's a 220 hitter, I want to see you 250, 260 by the end of the year.
Right, because he's a 260 hitter.
Yeah, I want to see you up near that. We're going to work on these things, just using him as an example because you brought him up, to get you to that 250, 260 plateau by the end of the year for the season out. We're going to take that and run with it in the offseason because next year I want you batting closer to 280.
Right.
Okay? And we're going to use this as a platform for that. And that's probably the way you have to word it.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that. And then whoever else is, whether it's pitching staff, whether it's guys, whatever it is.
Everybody's honing their craft.
Yeah, if a guy's in the field and he's got fucking a litany of errors, all right, look, we're going to work on this.
Exactly.
Over the next, we're going to get you going this way because I want you to be a Gold Glover next year.
Yeah.
But we're going to start this process now. We're not going to wait till spring training.
No.
So.
Right, if a guy can't backhand, okay, I want you actually fielding balls with your backhand.
Yeah.
If whatever it is.
And I don't care if you fucking miss it. You're going to fucking do it.
Keep doing it.
We're going to make this habitual, and then you'll stop missing.
Exactly.
However long it takes.
If it's pitchers, hey, why will you refuse to throw a fucking fastball the first pitcher? You know what I'm saying?
Whatever it is. Yeah.
We're going to fucking work on this shit because what else are we going to fucking do? Just sit here and get pummeled?
And I would hope, because if you think about the timeline here, I would hope this conversation already happened because they knew where they were going about where they finished. And when look, the second they made these trades, they told America what they were doing. So I would have thought that if that this was thought of too, and they've already had this conversation. Let's hope they do. I don't know.
I hope that this is the way they're approaching it, but to me, I don't know that it is, because to me, this would be a philosophy that you would vocalize.
I mean,
why wouldn't you? Yeah. Why wouldn't you come to a press conference and say, because they're saying like, how are you keeping yourself going? And the players are stuttering and they're like, well, this is a chance for some of the young guys to show what they can do. No, this is a chance for your entire team to work on shit that they were fucking up all year.
To work on shit that puts you in this position in the first place. Because you know why you're here? Because of this shit.
Right. These next 2 months are not just for the young guys to prove shit. Yeah. Y'all need to prove it.
Yeah. Well, y'all need to work on it.
Because if you had played up to your ability up to this point.
If you played to your talent level, you would not be in this mess.
So I'm not assessing
because they underachieved,
rookies.
Much like the women's soccer team, because of they had the talent. It wasn't a talent problem. It was fundamentals.
Yeah.
It was all the other shit.
It's approach.
Yeah. It was their mentality. It wasn't their physical ability.
Yeah.
So and that, to his point, hopefully is what the coaches have talked about since the trade deadline, because they told everybody where you're tanking. It's over.
But it doesn't feel like it. And here's the thing: while I said it was the right thing, I wasn't ready for what it would look like.
Well, how can you be?
I was not ready.
How are you ever ready for that? I mean, I don't care.
To get swept by the Royals.
I don't care how
and then go into Baltimore and just be a doormat. Like, ugh.
I mean, I don't know. But I know that when it happens, it's ugly. It's ugly. Any way you look at it, it's fucking ugly. It's just different forms of ugly.
They had 3 guys. It was DJ Stewart, Rafael Ortega, and some other guy's name. Like, guys you hadn't seen all year. They just pulled them out of the minors.
Yeah. I mean,
and it wasn't their big prospect, Mauricio. They're keeping him down. It's like, man, it'd be nice to see him.
Yeah, I mean, but it's to me, it's the hardest thing as a professional athlete to do. It's the hardest thing to do because you're not. First of all, your mindset's not there. It's the polar opposite of it. Mm-hmm. So it's you're telling them to bury the competitive streak and just work on these things.
But be competitive with your. Be competitive getting better, because right now you're not good enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can drive that competitive spirit by saying, dude, you're not good enough right now.
Yeah.
You have not played the way you can.
No, not to your potential.
You don't want to be that fucking guy.
No. So, look, the Mets are going to have an ugly road ahead of them these last 2 months. As for the Red Sox, after this weekend, they're the Red Sox again. It is one thing to get beat. It is another thing to get swept. It is another thing to get outscored 25-8 in 3 games.
It's another thing to
25
not do
to
the
8,
fundamentals.
Not do the fundamentals.
Not know how to run the bases.
Not how to run the bases. When you're in a pennant race, you're in a wild card race. At least you were. You were.
Get doubled off
yeah.
on a
And that
high
was the
fly
one
ball
game
to center field.
Yeah. Your pitching was.
Yikes.
I don't even know what to make of the pitching. The first pitcher, I don't know who even started the game. Murphy got the loss. He went 2, didn't get out of the second inning. 7 hits, 6 earned runs.
Well, I think because they're playing bullpen games.
It's.
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not using starters. They're using openers.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, they.
Because I saw people crying about it on Twitter. They're like, "Why are we using?
Yeah.
Why are we the Boston Red Sox and we're doing bullpen games all the time?"
Because they don't have the fucking talent. Because they didn't spend the fucking money the right way or at
Exactly.
all.
Exactly.
And this falls on the owner. Okay, look, the GM did what you asked him to do. He cleared out all the bad deals. But that doesn't mean you still can't spend money. Okay, you got a closer. Okay, fine. Well, he didn't even fucking play this weekend because they were fucking never in it. Except for one game that they fucking blew on the base pads. One of the worst ways you can lose right there. That was
Let's
embarrassing.
talk about that.
That was fucking embarrassing. That was the first time all year I was embarrassed to be a Red Sox fan. Which surprised me because I was going to be embarrassed, I thought, from fucking opening day. So they surprised me by being in this thing. They had a good, they come back after a tough road trip where they fought hard. It was respectable. They went 2 out of 4, but look at who they played. And they come in and they fucking get their ass pasted in game 1, which wasn't even anywhere near what happened today.
Did they win the second game?
They lost 5-4. It was the second game on that base they got thrown out.
Oh, this was
The
just a
runoff.
3-game, yeah.
3-game set. So
Okay, for anybody that didn't see it, bottom 9, they're down a run.
1 out, and the guy's on
one
second.
out, runner at second.
base.
The guy at the plate apparently hits a rocket, or what most people on the field thought was a rocket.
If I was going to at least hit the wall.
The guy who hit it thought he hit it out. It was left center at the monster. And the guy who hit it's walking to first like he just hit the ball onto the street. So he needs to check his shit. The guy on second base throws his hands up. Instead of going halfway to third, throws his hands up, jogs to third base, comes around third base, and while he's rounding third, the center fielder catches the ball on the warning track in front of the monster.
Yeah.
The third base coach then points to the outfield, and the base runner is halfway home
Home. He's past third.
and gets doubled off second, and the game's over. That is one of the
That is
worst ways to lose.
And you're in a fucking wild card race and you fucking fall asleep at the wheel like that?
And Alex Cora was pissed.
Alex Cora said it was the worst day of the season.
Yes. I think he said worst day of my baseball life.
Maybe it was. Because that's embarrassing.
And we talked about what a great manager he's been.
First bad thing I've seen.
Ooh.
That's the first bad thing I've seen from him. Look,
Well-
everybody has a bad day.
And
But-
on that day he sat Verdugo, I think.
Yeah, he did.
He sat him for doing something bad, and he called him out in the press conference afterwards.
Yeah.
He said, for us to get where we need to be, we need everybody in on this.
Yep.
And one person wasn't in the game. And I was like, damn, and you took him out.
Yeah. So, look, there's plenty of blame to go around this weekend. Look, mathematically, they're not out of it. There's 8 weeks to go. But, I mean, right now, that they got blasted. 13-3 today. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean,
Let me read some of these tweets.
from who? The Red Sox?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so this is about the Red Sox. 2023 Boston Red Sox death certificate. Time of death, 4:26 p.m. on August 6th.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Cause of death, poor roster construction, abandoned at the trade deadline, injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's your boy Dan Shaughnessy.
Oh.
No support from ownership. Embarrassing to see Sox going with openers in 40% of games for over a month now. So for anyone who doesn't know what an opener is, that's when you don't use a starting pitcher. You start the game with a person from the bullpen,
Yeah.
and now you're piecing together the entire game.
This is what Alex Cora has had to do to be competitive this season. That's why I say he's manager of the year right there. He has to do that.
40% of the
choice.
games for over a month?
Yeah.
You could have gotten this team some pitching at the deadline.
We talked about it, America.
What suckers are okay with this?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the Boston Red Sox?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Some of them are in L.A., some of them are in other places. The core of this team is not here. It's in other places winning. Okay? So it's fucking ridiculous. And, yeah. But look, the GM did what you wanted, but at the trade deadline, when you were in this thing, you're 2 games back of the line. Why are you not trying to add a couple of arms to, you got to do something. You understand?
I think a mid-level starter probably would have
would have been an improvement.
Yeah.
Look, I said for them to be in this thing at the end, 2 things had to happen. Okay? Well, one thing, really. They had to somehow get from a 4.4 TMRA to 3.9. That ain't happening now. No fucking way.
Well, here's the thing. Chris Sale's still pitching in the minors.
He has not come back yet. He's really
He pitched against the Mets in the minors this weekend.
Here it is, America. The hope for the 2023 Red Sox season is Chris Sale. And how many Red Sox fans right now are feeling good about that?
If he can come back and pitch kind of like Chris Sale for the last month and a half.
The last 6 starts before he got hurt, he looked amazing. Amazing.
If he does that for the rest of the year, they'll make the playoffs. But I'll say that. And I know that's easy to say, but if he comes back and pitches from mid-August to the end of September like that, I think they make the
before
playoffs.
He got hurt.
Right. I think they can make the playoffs.
I'd say they have a shot. I won't guarantee. I'd say they have a shot. But that's a big if. That's a big if.
But how far out are they right now?
They're 5 back.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
5?
They got swept. They were 2 back when the weekend started. I'm telling you.
All right, I might take that step.
Yeah, you might have to.
I thought they were still like 2.5 back.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you look at
let's look at these standings.
The schedule, they're 5 back, but they have Kansas City now for 3 games.
They better sweep.
They should sweep them. Kansas City is 36-77, America,
and they just swept the Mets.
They're done, and they swept a team that's tanking. It's trying to be done also. Mm-hmm. If the Red Sox don't sweep the Kansas City Royals, don't talk to me. Because I don't care how you're pitching, you should sweep the Kansas City Royals.
The Royals beat the Phillies 1 out of 3.
Yeah. So, but they should on paper sweep them.
They should.
They're 21 games better than them right now. After getting swept, America, they are still 21 games better.
The Royals just won 7 in a row.
And the Red Sox are still 21 games better.
Exactly.
So, if they don't sweep them, don't talk to me. But
let's look at this.
It's crazy that we have to sit here. And
so you got to leapfrog Seattle. Damn, and they just lost 2 out of 3 to Seattle.
Yeah.
They really had a chance to.
They had a real chance to get
with
in this
Seattle
thing.
and then Toronto, 2 teams they're chasing.
I said they were ahead of Seattle before it started, before the week started. Seattle was behind them.
Damn.
So
now Seattle's on a roll.
Yep, they're on a roll because the Red Sox, they woke them up.
Seattle's 8-2 in their last 10.
And the Red Sox are 4-6. So going the wrong way at the wrong time, America.
See, I can root for the Red Sox. I can root for the Orioles.
The Orioles have a legit shot.
The Orioles just toyed with the Mets.
Yeah.
And the fucked up thing about the Orioles, RJ, with the youth on that team, I don't know if they have pitchers in their system.
4 games in a row against the Royals, Boston, and they come home to Detroit.
You got to win 7.
They got to win 7 in a row. I'm just going to say.
Just win
the next 7
Not
games.
because that's easy, but because if you do that, you'll gain at least 3 games.
You'll have a shot.
You'll probably gain 3 games.
And you've got no excuse for not being able to, because those 2 teams aren't very good. One of them flat out stinks, and I forget what Detroit is, but they're not great either.
Detroit's horrible.
Yeah, they're not great either. I mean,
they're 13 under.
That's bad.
That's bad. It's not the worst team in the league,
No,
but
it's
like the Mets.
They're a bad team.
Like the Mets.
They're a bad team, but they don't have any talent like the Mets. The Mets are even worse because of the talent level. Detroit doesn't have the Mets' talent. No fucking way.
But right now, the Mets are not even playing.
No, the Mets are tanking.
Yes.
And at this point, given what you told me, they should. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to bury the Mets for that. The Mets have already buried themselves. So, I mean,
all right, let's look at what the Blue Jays are doing for the next week.
But Boston needs to win the next 7 in a row. Toronto.
Yeah, let's see what
Toronto's at Cleveland for at least 3.
They could stomp Cleveland.
They're at Cleveland, but Cleveland's a lot better than the teams Boston is facing. Cleveland's 4 games below. They lost 2 out of 3 of the White Sox. They're at home for this series.
Cleveland just had that big fight, so Cleveland's on the ropes right now.
They got KO'd.
No, they KO'd the White Sox. But Cleveland lost that game.
I know. Yeah. So Anyway.
Let's see what Seattle's doing the next 7 days, because that's the other team.
That's right in front, and the
that
Yankees
they're
are a half
chasing.
game.
Oh, the Yankees too.
But they're a
Okay.
half game apart. That's like they've played one less game. That's
So
why. They have the same record.
Seattle.
They're tied with the Yankees basically.
Okay, so Seattle's got 5 tough games: San Diego, and then Baltimore. 3 against Baltimore.
The Red Sox are not out of this thing at all. But look, after what happened this weekend, that's a haymaker. That's what happened to the kid from the White Sox. Like, boom.
Tim Anderson.
So, I mean.
Wobbled.
So, we'll see if they get up from it. 4 against Kansas City. That's smelling salts as far as I'm concerned.
Followed up by 3 with Detroit.
Detroit at home. Talk about the Almighty giving you a hand.
Don't pull the Mets.
Don't pull the Mets.
Fucking do your job.
You need to win 7 in a row, and you should win 7 in a row. You should win 7 in a row. I'm not gonna fuck around.
Here's the thing.
Kansas City is 40 games below 500.
They're terrible.
Fucking 40. You have to work to be 40.
They swept the Mets. I don't care if you're trying to tank. You get swept.
Nothing says tanking than getting swept by a team that's 40 games below 500.
Oh my God.
Nothing says tanking America like that. So
the Yankees got the White Sox, the Marlins, the Braves, and then Boston. Damn, they got a chance here to make a move.
The Red Sox have time. The Red Sox have to wake up. The problem is, though, Alex Cora has done everything he can. You want to bash him for yesterday? Go ahead, but he's made every right move. They're only in this position because of what he's done.
No, he's good.
So I'm not going to kill him over one game. I'm not, because I never thought they'd be where they are right now. So I'm not. And this schedule favors them. It's huge. So I'm not going to bury them because there's 8 weeks left. And they're over 500. They're not like this. This isn't a team that's 20 games below for trying to find something. No, they're there. So
part of me actually agreed with them not going crazy at the trade deadline.
Well, again, I asked the question, what would they have to give up?
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with them not doing it, but now it's manifesting itself
right.
Because, to your point, 40% of the time this season they've had to do that. Show me a major league team that's done that that's
right.
been a contender.
And it almost feels like, look, you could have got somebody. You didn't have to go get Verlander.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But you could get a mid-level starter and be better than bullpen games.
I'm not saying they didn't kick the tires on it. Maybe they did, and
Yeah,
the price wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and they said we're not going to sell
for a mid-level
good
guy.
Prospects away. Yeah, maybe.
And honestly, long term, that's not the wrong decision. So, but this is the fallback from that.
Exactly.
Because you have to keep Alex Cora has to keep trying to fucking literally. It's the definition of smoke and mirrors. If that's not the definition of smoke and mirrors, Tom, I don't know what is. Because I didn't even fucking know that stat existed. But that tells me smoke and mirrors.
What's that?
40% of the time this season they've had an open.
That's terrible.
That's ridiculous. I want to see another team that got in the playoffs doing that.
You
Actually,
one.
I don't think you will.
No way.
I'm saying he's doing this with smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
That's too hard to do. You're asking too much of your manager. So he's got to be perfect. He's got to make every right fucking decision, and then the players have to execute. So,
a couple other things to talk about baseball-wise.
Go ahead.
Unless, did you want to keep going on the?
No, I think I've said my point. They've got seven. Yeah. They've got 7 games right now that are very, very, very winnable.
Similar to last year in August, we looked down at the Red Sox schedule and we said this will determine the schedule. If they're not,
if they go 4-3,
right? If they're not like 5-2 at least,
at worst,
I think.
At worst,
you got to go.
Worst, they got
yeah. If they don't go 5-2, I think they've really hurt their chances.
They're almost 1 foot in the grave,
exactly.
one in a banana peel.
Because you need 7, but don't go less than 5-2.
5 is the absolute
right.
Against those two fucking teams, don't even know. So
you have to at least win 3 out of 4 from the Royals and 2 out of 3 from the Tigers.
Look,
anything less than that,
they are good enough to do this. They are. Because they've done it, they have to forget about what happened over the weekend, chalk it up to and just win the next 7. You win the next 7, to his point, I think you're right back in it. So and they're winnable. They're all winnable. It's not a stretch here.
Without a doubt.
I normally look at
7 wins in a row in baseball is not easy.
No, but it happens.
When you're playing cupcakes.
There's probably been more than 5 teams this year, and they're all at the top, by the way, that have had 7-game win streaks. The Red Sox have won 9 in a row at one point this year, and they're out of the wild card, right? They're not in the. Right. They're not in. So it can be done.
And when you have an offense like the Red Sox, you can pummel bad teams.
pummel bad teams. And right now, their bats have to wake up.
Yeah.
Because neither of those two teams has any pitching whatsoever.
And they're not going to see Zach Greinke with the Kansas City. I think he just pitched. So you're going to get the other 4
You
starters.
have to win 7. 5 it is the bare minimum.
Yes.
I agree with him on that. So we're going to take a break. We're going to find Yoda, Betty,
Hold on.
and Joe
Two more baseball topics.
Oh, what?
Outside of our own.
Yes.
The Angels.
And not moving our time.
Man, if they can't re-sign him, what a mistake.
Well, they never built around him. They never did. Did they? Really?
No, I'm not saying they did.
I don't think they did.
I'm not sure what's happened to them because...
I mean, they got him to... It looks like, from a fan's perspective, they got him to put asses in the seats. But they were never really serious about winning. Because if they were, it never would have come to this, Tom.
That's sad.
We knew 2 years ago this kid was the best player in the world. Didn't we? He was doing this shit 2 years ago. Okay, so...
Not at the level he's been last
But
year.
But he's young. He's ascending. He's entering his prime. So it was already there. You knew
he was a beast.
You knew he was a beast. You knew the kid was going to be a top 3 player in this league for years to come if he stayed healthy. So why weren't they building around him? Because you're not going to tell me the rest of that roster is good.
Well, no, but here's the thing. They missed on so much. So, this has been going on there for a while. When they signed Albert Pujols, that was one of the daggers for the Angels.
Yeah.
Because Albert Pujols was, in my opinion, after Barry Bonds, he was the best hitter in baseball. For the first, 10 years of his career with St. Louis. And the Angels signed him to a 10-year, $250 million deal, and he was hurt the whole time. Then they signed, this is way later, they signed Anthony Rendon to, $180 million. He has been injured all the goddamn time. And now they have Mike Trout out there. They paid Trout $400 million for what? They never even made the playoffs with him.
But
I don't think they made the playoffs.
I don't know. Let me explain this to you, America.
I don't know what
this
they're
is
doing.
This is the Los Angeles Angels team stats. First in batting average, Ohtani, 306. Home runs, Ohtani, 40. RBIs, Ohtani, 81. OBP, Ohtani, 409. Hits, Ohtani, 127. It doesn't end there, America. Then we go to pitching stats. Wins, Ohtani, 9. ERA, Ohtani, 3.32. Strikeouts, Ohtani, 160. The only 2 categories he doesn't lead in are the 2 categories where he doesn't have the option.
Steals?
Which saves and holds.
How many steals? He got some steals,
He's got steals, too. This kid is the greatest player since Babe Ruth, I swear to God. It's fucking ridiculous what he's doing. And they never built around him. So I have no sympathy for the fucking Angels. I feel bad for their fan base because getting him and Mike Trout makes it like we're putting fans in the stands because you don't win World Series titles with 2 players. You don't. And I couldn't name another guy on that roster without looking at it. He probably could, but I couldn't.
Not many. I think they got Mickey Moniak. They traded away their center fielder, Brandon Marsh. So, I don't know if they've been building the farm sit. Obviously not, because they're just.
What have they been doing, Tom?
I don't know. It's so weird. I'm looking at some of their worst.
When you look at their batting, there's one other guy, and he's only played 59 games. It's Mickey Moniak, who has the same average, but he's only played 59 games. The third baseman, I've never heard of, is batting .299.
Anthony Rendon. No. Rendon's hurt. Who is their third baseman?
Urshela.
Gio Urshela. They got him from the Yankees.
He's only played 62 games. He's batting .299. Then the catcher, 283, Ohop, but he's only played 16 games, so that doesn't count. If you look at guys that have played 100 games or more, it's Ohtani at 111. He's 306. The next guy is Hunter Renfroe at 105. You know what his average is, America? 249.
And Trout's just.
So think about the drop there.
Where's Trout? I guess he just hasn't played a lot.
Mike Trout has played 81 games.
So he's played a lot of games.
He's 263.
I guess he's missed, 25 games?
A lot, yeah. But Ohtani has also been durable on top of everything else. They have never built.
Holy shit. They gave Anthony Rendon $245 million in 2019.
And he would be who?
He's their third baseman that doesn't play.
Doesn't play. So,
God.
and I don't know anybody else on the pitching staff.
No.
I mean, I guess the closer's decent, but I mean, other than him, I don't know.
Okay, then the other baseball topic. Oh, shit. You dropped him in there, man.
What is in there?
You dropped the Beetle in there.
We'll get him out. Or he
The
can't.
other one was, did you hear about the Yankees sending Anthony Rizzo to the IL with a concussion
I did not hear
that he got 2 months ago?
2 months ago?
So
Fire the training staff.
Rizzo has been god awful since I think it was May 21st or something. And it's
He's had a concussion for 2
It's
months.
right around the time there was a play at first base where it was like a pickoff throw or something. He reached for it. Fernando Tatis Jr. on the Padres got back, extended his leg out, and Rizzo's neck got jammed, and he stumbled after it happened.
Oh.
And they traced his concussion symptoms back to that.
So he was misdiagnosed, basically,
Well,
for 8 weeks because no one thought he had.
I guess they never sat him for an extended period of time.
Well,
and allowed his fucking head to.
So
come
he
back
never
to normal.
healed.
A
concussion.
His reaction time was slow. They did all these tests on him because he was like, "Hey, I'm waking up tired."
Yeah. When I had a concussion, what they did with the protocol I had to follow, and I'm not a professional athlete.
How would they not check the guy out more? With
I'm saying,
all the attention
fire
to
the training staff
head injuries,
because that's a big miss.
That's a botch.
That's a big
That's a
fucking
botch.
miss. Okay, and
Anthony Rizzo has 1 home run in 2 months.
yeah, the warning signs are there.
He is a home run hitter.
Yeah, how's a guy going to slump like that?
I mean, that's
With his track
that's
record.
pretty bad management by the
That's
Yankees.
called piss poor training staff.
Yikes.
Whoever the team doctor is, fire his ass to. You'd be fucking kidding me. Nobody picked the. That's terrible. That's their fucking job.
Yeah. That is pretty
So
bad.
that's embarrassing.
Tiki
If I'm
Barber-
in the Yankees organization right now, I'm fucking embarrassed.
Tiki Barber was talking about it. He was like, "That's negligence."
Yeah.
The fact that for 2 months they let this guy. He had a brain
That's
injury.
got lawsuit written all over it. So
Yikes.
you think you're paying him money now? Oh baby.
He's not suing.
No, he won't. But because he probably wanted to try to play him because he's a competitor.
Well, that's what Tiki said. He was like,
But you
the
gotta-
reason I'm mad is because Rizzo's an old school.
You got to. Yeah, but
he's
you got to
play no
you
matter
gotta
what.
You have to stop a guy from
Right,
himself
exactly.
sometimes.
That's why
And
there's
that's
a
gross.
staff.
And the Yankees are all on winning and not looking at, hey, whoa, wait a minute. One of our power guys is not doing anything.
Can't hit.
Can't do anything. all of a
Right.
sudden. Maybe we should look into that. I don't know. But so
They said statistically he was the worst player in baseball for 2 months.
when he's never done that before.
Right. That's too bad for
You
them.
needed an 8-week sample size to figure this out? You fucking kidding me?
Yeah. It's
How about
crazy.
one series where he doesn't get a hit in the whole fucking series?
Right, he looking groggy the whole
I mean,
time.
yeah. I that's disgusting.
It's weird.
When you get paid to do something, and we're talking about the health of a person, that's your job, and you miss this, that's fireable. It's fireable. It's a fireable offense.
You're
And everybody involved in it should be fucking fired. Everybody that was in charge of checking this guy out, who
Gone.
ignored it, should be gone. I don't give a
Gone.
fuck what their name is. That's embarrassing. So we're going to end this topic on that stupidity. Thank you, New York Yankees, for making me feel better about the Red Sox. Because that's probably the only way you can fucking do it, is be that fucking stupid. So we will come back, segment 3. All things training camp. Preseason football is back. What are we looking
Some
for?
of the worst football you'll ever watch.
But we're going to dissect what do you look for and what is important here.
As RJ always says, no injuries.
That's the biggest one, but we'll talk about that in segment 3. You go find a frosty concoction. We're going to find Yoda, Betty, and Joe, but we will see you on the other side.